Hello everyone. I hope you are very healthy and consistent. So, in this video, we will be starting with the chapter 8 of this book, You Are a Badass. From chapter 8, What Are You Doing Here? The big question is whether you are going to be able to say a hearty yes to your adventure. Joseph Campbell, American mythologist, author whose books, ideas influenced the making of Star Wars. Getting clear about what your unique purpose is can be the difference between living a happy, fulfilled life of abundance, choice, and expansiveness or living in the restrictive real pen of your own indecision and tired old excuses. A gift, of course, is meant to be given, which is why it's so brutal when we can't figure out what ours is, or when we know what it is, but we are too lame to act on it. Here we have the perfect gift to share with the world, just bursting to be opened and keep it sitting there wrapped tightly in a box, growing old and gathering dust. Oh, the waste, the agony. Meanwhile, the joy of giving someone the perfect gifts is unparalleled. We all know how it feels, hopping back and forth from foot to foot, wringing our hands, practically peeing in our pants, begging them to open it. Open it already, Jesus H. Christ. Here, let me freaking do it. The power of giving is so strong that the excitement and the good feelings are often greater for the giver than for the receiver. Which is why, when you find your calling and you design your life in such a way that you can share your gifts with the world on a consistent basis, you feel like a rock star. When we share what we were brought here to give, we are in alignment with our highest, most powerful selves. Most people, however, wander through their lives giving the tasteful candle version of their gifts. They don't show up to the party empty handed or anything. They present their somewhat flaccid gift to the world, receive a warm hug and an oh, you shouldn't have in return, but they don't knock it out of the park. For example, they get a job doing something that they either hate or that's a bit of a yawn, but is, okay. It affords them a life that covers the basics as long as they don't go too crazy. They do fun stuff, but not as much as they'd like because they don't have the money or the time or the belief that they deserve to. They have little victories here and there. They meet their sales quota and win the 6-day cruise to the Bahamas or rack up enough miles to go stay with their aunt and see the Olympics or finally sit down and write an entire song that they may or may not ever record or perform. But they never truly go for it and create a life that really lights them up. They basically big snooze their lives away. Every single person is born with unique and valuable gifts to share with the world. Once we figure out what ours are and decide to live our lives putting them to use, that's when and only when the real party begins. Living a life on purpose is available to everyone. So if you are struggling or settling or completely confused about what you are supposed to do with your life, know that the answer is already here. It exists, and so does the life you can't wait to create. You just need to get some clarity first. There are entire books written on finding your calling, some of the best of which I share in the resources section in the back of this book and on my website, but the following are a few of my favorite tips. Keep in mind there is no right way to go about this. Everyone's journey is unique, but we are all trying to get to the same place, the place where we feel happiest, the most alive, and the most like ourselves. Even if you have nailed the perfect career for yourself, read on because these tips can help you in all the areas of your life. How to get clear on who you are and what your calling is. First, be the alien. Imagine that you are an alien floating around in outer space and you suddenly swoop down to Earth and inhabit your own body. As the alien, everything about this life is new to you. You look around, what do you see? What is this person who you have inhabited so obviously awesome at? What do they have the most fun doing? What connections do they have? What resources and opportunities are available to them? As the alien to whom everything is new and exciting and there's nothing at risk and no past to lug around, what are you going to do with this incredible new life you have stepped into? How are you going to use this new body and this existence to create something fabulous and awesome starting right now? This exercise is hugely helpful for getting a new perspective and stepping outside our boring ass ruts of tired old excuses and lame habits. It can also be very useful in making you aware of all the staggering possibilities and resources that you have at your fingertips and take for granted or do not see. Sometimes it's as simple as looking at the things with new eyes to see how astoundingly fortunate we are. Be the alien for 24 hours and see what you come up with. Second, take the first right step. Instead of wasting hours and days and years trying to figure out your perfect next move, just do something already. Oh, the time we waste rolling ideas around in our heads, imagining what ifs, coming up with perfect reason why and then perfect reason why not, tearing at our cuticles, making our friends and family careful screen their calls in case it's us again wanting to go over some ideas. Get out of your head and take action. You don't have to know exactly where it's going to take you. You just need to start with one thing that feels right and keep following right feeling things and see where they lead. Most answers reveal themselves through doing, not thinking. When I discovered my calling as a coach, I was ironically in the midst of a lifelong obsession with figuring out what the hell my purpose was. While I always knew writing was part of it, I also knew I wasn't meant to spend my life locked away in a silent room alone and half crazed wrestling wars into submission. I wanted something that A. involved interacting with other people, B. help people in some sort of direct way, C. was really fun, and D. forced me to bath, dress, and leave my house. That's about all I had to go on. That and my intense desire to figure it out. So, when a friend told me I should check out a women's entrepreneurial think tank group that had just started up, I figured I'd go. We were all supposed to bring a project to work on, but I had nothing, just the hope that I'd get some ideas from something someone else brought to the table. After sitting there for 4 weeks watching this room full of women figure out what they love to do, and turn their brilliant ideas into businesses or grow the businesses they already had. I still had no project of my own, but I did know what I wanted to do. I went up and asked the facilitator if she needed any help, which she did. She hired me and I started leading these groups, which after a few years led to me starting my own coaching practice, which led to me working with clients all over the world, which led to me sitting at the kitchen counter writing this book. No matter how clueless you may feel right now, pay attention to suggestions and opportunities that suddenly present themselves and notice how you feel. Is there something for you that, for whatever reason, feels like it might be good to check out? What have you been saying forever that you love to do? Has somebody mentioned a course or a teacher or a book that keeps sticking in your mind? Take the first step in the direction towards something that feels right and see where it leads you. And do it now. Third, do your best wherever you are at. Once you take this first step, it's possible that you won't land in your dream situation right away. You might land on a stepping stone. It could be an awesome stepping stone, or it could be a kind of an unpleasant stepping stone. But no matter where your first step lands you, if you want to keep moving forward, appreciate wherever you are at instead of feeling ashamed or grouchy or impatient about it. Everything you do along your journey contributes to where you are going. Let's say you have decided that you are going to go after your fantasy of being a rock star and you take a job waiting tables so you have the flexibility to travel and play gigs and go in the studio. Clearly, your calling is playing music, not being concerned that some whiny customer's French onion soup is allegedly too cold. But it's essential that you care anyway. Having a good attitude and being grateful for all the things that are helping you live the life of your dreams will not only make your life a more pleasant place to be and get you bigger tips, but it will also raise your frequency and attract the people and opportunities to you that will take you in the direction you want to. This is where really being present in the moment comes in handy. Granted, you may not be on stage in front of thousands doing a split in the air, but remember that you are going for it. You are bravely moving toward your dream. You are surrounded by unthinkable miracles and opportunities. Lean back, relax, and be grateful that you are living on purpose, that you are hanging out in a high frequency, and that everything you need is zooming towards you. Fourth, don't reinvent the wheel. Look around and see what other people out there are doing, whose life makes you totally jealous. What things are people doing that you would love to do too? Who do you think is the coolest person ever? You don't need to invent your ideal life from scratch. You just need to figure out what makes you feel alive. So if what someone else is doing sparks your interest, take notice. It could mean that your calling has something in common with theirs. Get specific about things in their lives that turn you on. Is it because they get to travel the world? Is it that they have a solid routine? Is it that they have no routine? Is it that they work alone? That they work in the nude? That they get to be outside all day? That they work with their hands, their eyes, their ears, their animals, their spouse? The more specific you get, the easier it will be to create a picture of what you want. Read magazines that interest you. Talk to as many people as you can. Hang out in places where people who share your interest hang out. Put yourself out there, and you never know what you might learn that will inform your next move, or whom you might meet that will present you with your next opportunity. Fifth, don't get caught up in the thunderbolt hype. I think one of the most paralyzing misconceptions is that we are all supposed to have one true calling that comes to us in a mighty flash of soul defining insight. While there are those people who have always known exactly what they want to do, there are a hell a lot more of us out there who spend most of our lives, if not all of our lives, wandering around looking under rocks and behind trees for who we are. Let yourself off the hook if you don't have that one big, perfect thing that you know you came here to do. Same goes for finding the one big, perfect soulmate. By the way, and feel good about the fact that you will probably fulfill several callings throughout your life and possibly relationships. If you think about it, it makes more sense to evolve as you age anyway. When I think about who I was in my 20s compared to who I am now, I can't imagine anything more unappealing than going after some of the things that resonated with me back then. Follow what feels good in the moment, every moment, and it will lead you through a most excellent life. Sixth, listen to your intuition. If you really want to get in touch with who you are and what you love to do and who you love to do it with, dedicate some time tuning into your intuition. One of the best way to do this is to spend 5 minutes of quiet by yourself every day. We spend the vast majority of our time moving at full speed ahead, both physically and mentally, and we literally bulldoze over the very answers we are seeking because they can't be heard above the din. When you sit quietly and ask, you get an answer. Eventually, stick with it. Be patient and wait to hear from your inner guidance. You have all the answers you need. You just need to give them the chance to get through to you. 7. Follow your fantasies. Now that I have given you all the kinder, gentler ways to figure yourself out, I'm going to suggest something you are probably not going to like so much. Jump in the deep end and follow your fantasies. What do you fantasize about when you are staring out the window of a train? Or before you go to sleep at night? Or when you are pretending to listen to someone really boring talk your ear off? Are you on stage doing stand-up comedy in front of thousands of hysterical fans? Are you surrounded by your beautiful children in the coziest, happiest home ever? Are you being celebrated for building orphanages around the world? Do this exercise as if money were not an issue. Tap into what brings you great joy instead of what you think you need to do to survive. If you had an unlimited supply of cash, what would you spend your life doing? Our fantasies are the most revealing peepholes into who we are and what we think is awesome. No matter how out there and ridiculous they mean something to us and usually represent our biggest and best versions of ourselves. Our fantasies are our realities in an excuse-free world. Meanwhile, we'd all be mortified if anyone could read our minds and catch us in the act. I know it's totally stupid. I want to sing on Broadway. Well, is it really stupid? Someone's out there doing it. So why couldn't you? Much of the time we pretend we aren't clear on what our calling is when what's really going on is that we are horrified to face it because it seems too big or too impossible to make a living at or completely out of the question for us. But what if you had the audacity to leave your excuses and your shame about wanting to be huge and fabulous behind and really went for it? full on anyway. But if you decide to do the most outrageous, most exciting thing you ever dared fantasize about, regardless of what anyone, including your terrified self, thought, that would be living. 8. Love yourself like you are the only you there is. So, we have finished chapter 8. I hope you enjoyed it and you are very consistent because consistency is the key. We will meet in next video with chapter 9, Loincloth Man. So I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.